Thousands of years ago, they were Apollo, Zeus, Ares. Now they are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the other heroes and villains of DC and Marvel Comics. Join us every week as we discuss the legendary stories, characters, concepts, and other parts of comics as we examine the modern pantheon of heroes. Let's get heroic. Welcome to Under Two Capes, the podcast for the comic book fan. Welcome to Under Two Capes debates. I am Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And we are here with Mitch. Mitch, how you doing?
I'm great. Everyone, you guys doing good tonight?
Pretty good. So we teased this all week. We are going to have our first comic book debate. Now you may ask, what is the topic? Now you may know that last week Mitch was on the podcast, so we got to a pretty heated discussion about Superman, Wonder Woman, or Batman, Wonder Woman. So I guess we're going to start with that. All right. So as I am the gentleman, the gentleman, whoever would like to present their opening arguments may begin.
Mitch, you're the guest. Go
Lad,
ahead.
would you like to go? Okay, then I'll go. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
You didn't see it, Jared, but I curtsied just for you because you're such a gentleman. Now, I am, as some people might have guessed, I am a follower of the strong woman cult, namely Amazon's in particular. But let's not mince words.
Who doesn't love Amazon? So that's the point.
Exactly. You know, as in the words of the immortal Spike Spiegel, I love a woman who can kick my behind. Anyways, Wonder Woman. She's, what is she? She's tall. She's pretty. She can literally rip your arms from their sockets and beat you with the wet end. Okay. She's tough as nails. Like immune to bullets. There's the whole 9 yards. She's the whole package. She's not just pretty and talented. She's smart. Okay. So who do you want to be with her? The man who has the personality traits of a cardboard box. I'm a country yokel. What do you do? What are your interests? Farming. Okay. Mr. Blue Collar. Let's make it a little interesting.
That's not true. But okay, go ahead.
I know. I'm playing it up. Now, dude, you got that.
I'll play Trump. Wrong.
You are fake news. Now, here we go. Bruce Wayne, or Batman, excuse me. Well, one, as of recent events, we know he knows how to please his woman. Maybe canonically, maybe not. DC won't ever talk about it.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, besides that... Besides all that, exactly, he's capable. We'll say Batman's capable. He has the money, he has resources, he's smart. He may not be invincible or immune to bullets, but he makes up for it being kind of technically a ninja. I mean, to me, he's a ninja. He hits all the qualifications.
He's pretty much a ninja.
Exactly. He's a Gaijin ninja. There we go. A lot of qualifications, but this is just like the opening. We'll get more into this. I'll tee it off to one of you guys.
Okay. Jared, I think you should go next.
All right, I'll go. So now I'm going to present the opposite viewpoint. So I'm going to start with Wonder Woman. Okay, so would you agree that the truth is very important to her?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's the name on the lasso. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to address that point first. Number one, Batman lies to everyone. It's part of his thing. And second off, Tower of Babel, bro. He has a plan to kill every single member of the Justice League. You can't have complete trust or truth with that situation. Now, I can hear the opposites attract excuse coming out. But here's the thing. That only goes to a certain point because you can't... Opposites, when they're that fundamental to the character, does not work. It will repel. Now, second off, going back to Superman, let's examine the character of Clark Kent / Kal-El / Superman. Man, that guy has a lot of names. Now, so in Amazon culture, they're taught that men are liars. They keep a lot of secrets. Hint, hint. They seduce and they degrade women and such and all that. Now look at Superman. Pretty transparent, except for the fact that he is that he keeps his identity a secret from everyone except Wonder Woman and anyone on the Justice League. 2, super strength, so she doesn't have to worry about tearing his arms off. Second off, he is the complete opposite of the Amazon conception of a man. Let's think about it. Who is more noble in the DC universe than good old boy, than a blue Boy Scout?
Okay.
Now, second off,
About that time when he snapped Zod's neck.
Well, no. In this universe, here's the counter to that. That universe is based off Frank Miller's books. And everyone kills in Frank Miller's books, right, Mitch?
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's a national pastime in that one.
It's a bit of a hobby, actually.
You're dealing with a Batman who went into the junkyard to fight a bunch of mutants in a freaking tank.
I mean, that sounds pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a fair actually rebuttal. That I mean, in the main continuity, Superman isn't like that.
I'll say one more thing about the main continuity, and they established this in the new 52, and it's why it happened in canon, because and they did address the Batman Wonder Woman thing in canon before. They have there was this one tie-in for Blackest Night, which was my favorite Green Lantern event ever, where it was the Wonder Woman tie-in. So what they did is a certain amount of any DC character who had died and come back to life became a Black Lantern. So Wonder Woman had one where she's seeing all of these where her gods intervened before this happened, but she's placed in a situation where she kills her mother and Donna Troy because she's a Black Lantern. And then Batman shows up and they make out. So yeah, DC has kind of addressed this in the past. Now, the reason why I bring up canon is because in the new 52 at the end of Justice League number 12, so they have that classic scene with Wonder Woman sitting on top of the Lincoln Memorial, and her and Superman have this conversation where they're the only ones, so they feel like they can be completely honest with each other. And she's an immortal princess. And we still have and according to comics, from what I could find, Superman has a ridiculously long lifespan. Just let me put it this way. At Batman's age, if he's not killed by crime, he's not gonna be there for maybe longer than 40 years, I would say.
We'll get Batman Beyond.
We'll get Batman Beyond. Yeah, and I get the feeling that Wonder Woman is not going to go. Okay, but Bruce is dead. Next Batman.
You never know with the Amazons, man. They are Greek, so.
Bless you. Oh, that's true. But yeah, so in that storyline, what they established is Wonder Woman says, "There you go.
I'll bring the photo evidence for the viewers to see."
Turn back one page.
Turn back one page. Got it, sir?
Because in that comic book storyline, what they were saying is Wonder Woman said, because this is when Wonder Woman finally broke it off with Steve Trevor. And it was because she constantly had to worry about him being in trouble. Because remember, Trevor's like Batman. He's a normal dude. Besides, he happens to like guns, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, the thing about, there you go. And the thing about Superman and Wonder Woman that works super well is that neither of them have to worry about hiding any part of themselves. And they say that in the storyline. They even have this conversation where Wonder Woman goes, "We're not like the gods, or we're not like them," i.e. mankind. Superman goes, "We're not like anyone." And then they kiss. And with that, I will leave it to whoever would like to pick it up.
Yeah, I guess I can say a little bit, and then maybe I throw it to Mitch for.
Sure, that's fine.
Those are some solid points, some sensible, logical.
Real quick, I just want to establish this.
Yeah.
I know where Mitch stands, but lad, where on this debate are you? Because actually, I was going to say, if you're in the middle, your screen's actually in the right spot. So I'm saying.
So no, I'm firmly a Batman and Wonder Woman shipper. Definitely ship them together. But I kind of think the Superman Wonder Woman thing kind of makes sense a little bit.
That's why they did it.
Batman and Wonder Woman is just better. Okay.
Give me one reason why, lad.
So the reason why is because Superman is yes, the definement of truth, ideals, all of these things.
Justice and the American way. It's in his thing.
In his name, right? But it's just, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. He's just a little bit bland sometimes, and Batman is just more exciting.
Not the new 52 Superman.
Oh,
This one was a younger, more brash, more impulsive version of the Man of Steel. This is the dude who got turned into freaking Doomsday.
That's true.
That was one of the best storylines of the new 52, by the way.
Well, I'm glad he got better.
Yeah. And here's the issue there. Now, you may say they're too similar to be together. It's just a boring type of relationship. But here's the thing. In their solo comic series, they address this because Wonder Woman is because in Amazon culture, they're very open. They don't really hide anything from society, which is why everyone pretty much knows Diana Prince is Wonder Woman. There's no secret there, except for kind of in the new 52, but they've kind of vacillated on that. Clark Kent is used to hiding who he really is around people, and they have that conversation where they try to keep their relationship a secret because being a public figure, and this whole thing gets leaked, you know that news travels fast. Yeah. So what Wonder Woman says is that it's really hard because I want us to be open with what we have, but Clark won't.
I see what you're saying.
Also, here's the thing. She becomes the god of war, and he has to deal with the fact that she is the god of war and he is Superman.
I'll give you, I'll jump in here if it's okay with you, lad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The God of War thing, I like that, but we'll get to that. For now, though, speaking of Ares, the God of War. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Ares is based off of the Greek god Ares, right?
Yeah. Okay, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, again, because the Roman version of that, because the Romans just take a Greek thing and make it Roman, is Jupiter. So, going back to the Greeks, though, speaking of Greeks, Greek culture, Greek tragedy. Is it not more of a traditional Grecian play style to be tragic, or if not in like a traditional tragic, oh no, everything's awful, but like, bittersweet? Is it not better for Wonder Woman to have a relationship with someone who she knows is mortal, who she knows is a flawed, deeply flawed, but fighting against her own flaws character? Like, could you not have it be with Batman, where it's like, tell me X, Y, tell me the truth. And then she looks at the lasso and she knows she could use the lasso and get him to tell her the truth. But he goes through this whole thing. You can see, like, if you want to do the internal monologue and have like an entire like page of word salad, you could do that. But if you're a good comic book artist, you wouldn't do that.
Shouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
He'd grimace.
He'd grimace. And then he'd tell her the truth because he loves her and respects her enough to be honest with her when he's not honest to anyone else, and he knows she could make him tell it, but she doesn't do it. It's like they both know that she has the ability to get the truth out of him, but she doesn't do it, and because she doesn't, he respects her that much more. And it's this like sort of Grecian, like, this will never work on 100% because I'm going to die and you're going to either live forever or live way longer than me. But it's that like the flame that burns twice as twice as strong burns half as long. It may be a shorter relationship on the grand scheme of like cosmic scale, but it will be that much more passionate. You could even have like the drama of her getting with Superman afterwards once Batman dies, because he'll be incredibly long-lived too.
Superman is the rebound guy.
Exactly.
Super rebound.
Oh,
That's a secret superpower. He's a rebound for an Amazon princess.
That hurts me even to suggest. But you understand my point is that
No.
I think on some level that traditional not tragedy, but yeah, it's like yes, this is a beautiful thing, but you have to let it go. So it's really great and it's powerful and it's short.
That works, except for the fact that in any of these Greek tragedies, does one of the partners have a plan to kill the other one?
I mean, you want to look at like
He literally does that.
Not the
Batman
other person,
does
but
it's well established that Batman does not trust anyone, especially people with near godlike powers. I know he kind of seems like he trusts Superman like they're best buds, but to a certain degree, no, Bruce does not trust Clark, especially Clark and Diana, because let's put it this way, if they wanted to, those are the two that could destroy everything.
That's true.
You're not wrong. Go ahead, lad. Did a point there. I'm sorry.
It's a good point that that is a bit problematic, but on the flip side, Diana or Superman could kill Batman without a plan, but doesn't mean that maybe they don't think about that, oh, he made Batman dangerous. Batman has all these systems in place. They could kill him in a second. I mean, he has to do all these plans for it, but they are still capable of doing the same thing.
Yeah, they have the power to do it, but they don't.
Or Batman has the trust them.
But also Batman has the ability to too. It's again that kind of like Cold War mentality. But I think I see the appeal of the everyman or the honest farm boy and the Amazon, the fish out of water, which is what Wonder Woman is. The fish out of water and the honest farm boy. I get the appeal of that. That's Americana. I have no problem with it. I think it works, and I'm not even really against it per se, but I think it's at least give me a 52 or give me a new run where it is Batman and Wonder Woman. Just give it another one of the multiverses again, because they touch on that's one of the things that they can exactly. So
it's called the Dark Multiverse.
Exactly, but develop it. Give it a little bit more flavor. Make it a little bit more explain it, expand it, because I think that's a really that interesting idea where you could have the two characters be maybe Batman can be vulnerable to someone for a change that isn't his family that he will accidentally kill at one point. He finally has a family member that he can't actually kill by accident.
Oh, he'll find a way to by accidentally kill one. It's Batman. Oh, no! It's Batman. What are
your one weakness. How did the Joker find it out? But but yeah, that'd be great to have them. I will cede to you perhaps that you may have the more mainline mainline idea, but I think as a side thing, I think Batman and Wonder Woman, is perfect for a what if expand on
an
it.
Elseworlds. It'd be a good Elseworlds. I'll give you that. And to be quite honest, I would definitely read that comic because I agree with you. It would be very, very interesting. I'm just saying for a main continuity storyline, for the main DC, for the main Superman, Wonder Woman characters, for the main Trinity, it just makes more sense to throw, because let me put it this way, that's why they did it, because they said, because the way that the new 52 actually started, it was just a redesign of Superman because his books weren't selling. So they decided, let's change a couple of things. They gave him the Kryptonian armor, which materializes around him, which I love. And then they said, okay, so let's make it so he wasn't with Lois Lane. Let's try something new. Who's the next logical choice to be with Superman?
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
The Amazon princess. Yeah. Exactly. And second off, see, here's the thing. I would be a little more open to Batman, Wonder Woman if Batman did not have Catwoman. And I think that's a better match. Because it teaches Batman that he can't, because remember, Selina's a criminal-ish, right? So what that teaches Batman, because Batman up to the point he met her is this absolute crime must be stopped. They must all be locked up and stuff. And being with Selina shows him it's not always black and white. There's a little moral gray area there.
That is true. That is kind of like his opposite thing. Like we say that we want the opposite, like Wonder Woman
And that's
Batman,
the opposites attract.
but like Catwoman with Batman is kind of the opposite already.
Yeah, they already have that type of dynamic.
Well, that's a good point.
Plus the fact I loved in the Justice League cartoon where Wonder Woman's coming on to Batman, and then Batman's like, you're an immortal Amazon princess from an isolated island. I'm a rich kid with issues, a lot of issues.
Fair, and again, I get that. It's you've made a compelling argument, and truly, when you do think about it, it does kind of makes sense. It does. I'll give you. I see that, and again, that's why they went with it for the main line, obviously, because they knew, they can see the polling, they can see how it works. Okay, yeah, this makes more sense, and it works. But I don't know. It's just
for an Elseworlds, I will grant you, for an Elseworlds, it's a great idea. That's why in the Elseworlds, pretty much, they do that, because if you notice in the Dark Multiverse, when they did Metal and Death Metal, like multiple Dark Knights came from worlds where Batman and Wonder Woman were a thing. The God of War, there was one a Dark Knight that was like in Amazon. So there you go. So
yeah.
I mean, that's why I think they do that, because they figure makes more sense because the way because if you do it in Elseworlds, you can tailor these characters so they are a little bit more aligned with a little more aligned in order for them to be a good couple. Where if you're supremely limited if you're dealing with the main continuity Earth 0, or I guess in Marvel's case Earth 616, like
you can bend the characters out when you're not in the mainline canon. When you're in the mainline canon, it has to go certain ways. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You get some free reign when you're in the multiverse.
Oh yeah, because
anything
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
To quote DC, it all matters because that makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm like, what? Come on, guys.
I don't think that means what you think it means, DC.
Yeah. That one meme of Inigo Montoya. All right, so who's gonna go next?
So I think we need it's a good point. I mean, I think we can mention the Justice League cartoon. Well,
that was in Elseworlds. That was clearly not in the normal DC universe.
Right. But I think it is kind of interesting that they decided to show us a little bit of that in the series.
Yeah, but they hinted at they never actually became a couple.
Right. But
as far as we know, it could have happened off screen and we just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Right. I just think it's kind of interesting that like at the time they just showed a bit of that, a little bit of like hints of that throughout the series. Nothing like ever developed, and then they had the moment where Batman just blows her off and just gets rid of her. It's like, no, we can't. This one isn't going to work out. Yeah.
But if you notice, here's how I took that, because 100%, you definitely get a full feel about that. But here's the thing: is that there's always been kind of a flirty relationship between Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman to a certain degree. It's because let me put it this way. Of the Justice League members, they are the closest, those three. That's why they're called the Trinity. So of course you're going to have a little more familiarity, a little more ribbing and such. So that's where I kind of took it. And you notice the only reason why I think they were putting Wonder Woman with Batman is because Superman had Lois Lane.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I think they had her. He had his own TV series.
Which is why in the New 52, when they got rid of Lois Lane, they're like, slide on into those DMs, Wonder Woman.
Well, I, for one, am glad that they didn't go for the love triangle, because as someone who reads a lot of manga, I hate love triangles with a burning passion. They're the most annoying and contrived, and it's like, have you ever been in a love triangle? It's just exhausting. It's not fun. There's nothing will they, won't they? You just want to get left alone sometimes. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes being in them. This is
the Hunger Games, though.
God.
What did you get out of this love triangle? I got PTSD. Woohoo!
Yeah.
We bonded through murder.
Exactly. What did you get? I got a dead sister and war crimes.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
see,
I will grant that. Yeah, because if it was a love triangle among the Trinity or, or any variation thereof, that would just be plain dumb.
That'd be really funny. That'd be like so bad. I really hope they never do something like that.
What they need is a storyline where it's Batman v Superman, but they're fighting for Wonder Woman. The winner gets Wonder Woman.
Or
Like they have to do like a bunch of like the tasks of Achilles, but the winner gets Wonder Woman.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. And this would actually, DC would actually do this because it's stupid enough that DC would do it these days.
Yeah.
You could have the Joker, you could, he thinks he's in a love triangle with Harley Quinn and like, you could do Poison Ivy. In reality, they don't care about him at all. He's just in the same place at the same time. They think they're fighting over him. And he keeps misinterpreting it further and further. And you could just pull in all these extra characters, like, and he thinks he has this, like, by the end of the thing, you think he has this, like, entire harem. And everyone's just like, what? What are you talking? Like, the entire joke was you the whole time, you know? And it's so stupid. I could see DC doing it. That's the thing. It's so like, oh my. Why would you do this?
I could see DC and or any type of comic book. I could see the big two doing it because they're not that smart. Whoever's running those companies. But yeah, wouldn't that be hilarious if they had like battle for Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that'd be pretty hilarious. Like, it'd be fun like as like a one-off cartoon, and it probably be like in a more like a chibi animation style, like like comic, and it'd be like Hippolyta is like giving away her daughter to Bride, and then it shows like chibi Batman and Superman like staring off each other, and they're doing like all these different tasks around the island.
Red eyes. Superman has the red eyes, and Batman's like cracking kryptonite gloves.
There you go. As someone who again, that'd be like a 4-coma like sort of like comedy gag thing. They're doing that nowadays. That's a comic, probably. That's a thing that they do now. That is, they're doing that with a couple other animes right now. So that is that's a viable series you could have now. I could see them do that in the next 4 years.
That's probably why, by the way, they never brought in Wonder Woman into the Smallville TV show, because they'd be like, why is Lois Lane here with he's got Wonder Woman?
Well, wouldn't Wonder Woman be like the same age? Because she's the same age. She like doesn't age from World War. Well, if we're going from like, and again, this is my rudimentary understanding. She doesn't age that quick, so she'd be like almost like an adult. If they brought him into Smallville, she'd be like, "Hello, Clark Kent." It's like, you're my teacher.
Well,
the age difference thing. Am I wrong on that?
The thing is that they've kind of vacillated on that per se, because the Wonder Woman of the new 52 era and kind of the current one showed up when she was like, when she looked like 23-ish, and that was around the look that Clark. And plus, anytime they brought in a Smallville character, she was about Clark's age.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I'm like, that would be funny if nothing else. Like,
the only one I could see being older would be Batman, because he's Batman and he'd be more like aged and grizzled. And
I'd say you just like play Wonder Woman off as a creep and just like creeping on Clark Kent without him knowing it. It'd be like a comedy thing. Like, she's in the background. Like, I see your superpowers. I know what you're doing. It's like, who are you? What do you want? They did
do throughout DC's publication history. They have made it out like Wonder Woman is in love with Superman. Like, it's kind of like she loves someone who's with someone else.
Oh, painful love.
Yeah, like, they've always done that.
Lois Lane disappeared.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh no. Darn. Lois
Darn.
Lane just disappeared.
Yeah. Oh man. Clark, she kind of slipped while she had a golden rope around her neck or something.
Oh my.
Officer, the kid just tripped and fell headfirst to the wood chipper. I don't know what happened.
She's in like Hades. She's Hades' new bride.
Yeah, just like, oh yeah.
Because we noticed in Injustice, when Lois Lane died, who slid in to replace her?
Honestly, it's like,
I forgot they did that in Injustice.
Yeah, Wonder Woman just slid to replace And they actually played off in Injustice 2 that she was the thing that really turned Superman into a villain. She corrupted him.
Man.
Because that Wonder Woman was so much more aggressive and evil. Evil is her one and only name. All right, who's got anything else to say on this topic?
I think, Jordan, I think you got us on that one. I think you got us. At least you got me on that one. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, I concede that point to you.
I think you did some pretty good points, but it doesn't. I don't know what else I'd really say except like I think it would be if they did a story with Batman and Superman, a Batman and Wonder Woman. I think that it would have to be Wonder Woman pursuing Batman and him not really caring. Like he just like
they
really
did that
not
to
interested.
Show.
Like
what they
how
could
they
do
in the TV show.
The way they could do a Batman Wonder Woman thing that makes sense is if they did a multiverse world without a Superman.
That's true. They could do something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe his ship got lost in a black hole or went somewhere else or something like that, and then Batman and Wonder Woman formed the Justice League.
Batman's contingency plan. He just time travel watch, send the baby pod to different planets. And all right,
I'll show you who gets the girl this time, buddy.
No. He goes to Barry. He's like, hey, listen, Barry, I know I told you never to run back in time ever, but I need you to do this right now.
There's one thing and only one thing.
And then you know how it formed a Flashpoint universe? That's how the deceased zombie apocalypse starts. Like it completely goes to hell because of that one change, because of the ripples to the Speed Force, because that makes sense.
Oh boy. Yes.
I just love how one change to the timeline screws everything up.
Again, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh boy. No, that's good.
No, I can see at that point. Let me
put it this way: as an Elseworld story, all for it, 100% all for it, because it would be a pretty dope storyline, probably. Plus, I would like to see, honestly, they could do a lot with how Wonder Woman interacts with Batman's rogues. I think that'd be really cool.
Wonder Woman kills everyone.
And Batman's like, "Woman, we don't do that. This is Gotham."
Wonder Woman's like, don't do that while he's killing someone else.
That's their couple's argument. That's the couple's argument.
Mid-panel, like cutting off like the Riddler's like arm or something. Riddle me this, shunk, and Batman's like, you can't do that, and she's like, what?
The Riddler, I think, would be the one that would hate the Wonder Woman the most, because all she'd have to do is to throw the lasso around him, and then he just tell her whatever she wants.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the best part, is that it's like the gap of like, the character you really shouldn't be cutting the head off of because he doesn't deserve it as much as like the Joker, and she's like, or like hacking at him with like the sword. It's like Diana, of all the people you're gonna try to kill, the Riddler, like some like the Penguin. Like what?
Bane, I can understand.
Yeah, the Joker, I get it, but like God, what's like the pup, Scarecrow or something? Like really? Like this is like a dude in a mask. Like what are you doing?
Exactly. It's like the Riddler goes, "Riddle me this, Batman," and then Wonder Woman takes out the lasso. Nope.
How about you riddle me this?
Riddle me this. What's the answer to the riddle? And they're like, gosh darn it, Wonder Woman.
Exactly. I actually really love that. That's like perfect. It would completely ruin
Wouldn't that be good? That would be worth the relationship just to have that as one panel. Nope.
You literally just have Wonder Woman bully Batman's enemies. That's literally just the arc of the series. Is Wonder Woman upstaging Batman and like he's like trying to be nice about it, but he's like secretly or like kind of like annoyed that she keeps like upstaging him for everything. Because she can fly, because she is invincible. He has to like be all smart and he's staking it out, and she just like flies through the wall. She just Kool-Aid Man's the wall, like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm Wonder Woman. I'm invincible.
What will be so good is if Batman and her are out on patrol, and Batman's scoping out this like warehouse they're going into. Like, okay, we have to tactically. I see like 20 dudes with guns. let's like flank around, and then before he can finish his sentence, she just rushes in through the wall exactly.
Oh yeah,
like in the Snyder Cut, and just kills everyone.
it's like really? Did you have? Was that necessary?
Oh boy.
And then Batman's like, I was trying to strategize, and then Wonder Woman goes, "Are you immune to guns? You strategize. I'll go through walls."
Yeah.
I prefer a more direct route.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll give you that one.
so I'm gonna claim this one as a win because in terms of mainline continuity, I think I got you guys beat on that.
I think you got it. Yeah, I'll give you that.
If you guys think for some reason they won, please drop it in the comments. Now, now that debate is concluded, but I still this is still too short of an episode. Our next topic of conversation will be actually the Smallville animated series. So, in light of the fact that these two have not seen the show, basically imagine it as just Superman from him finding out he's a Kryptonian to it actually ends with him doing the chest rip for the first time.
Oh my.
So it's like his whole development as Superman. They bring in really weird like combinations of characters. Like they brought in like basically every Justice League character except Batman and Wonder Woman. They had like Aquaman, Green Arrow, Cyborg, and the Flash, except the Flash, it's Bart Allen.
Yeah.
Impulse, the one that no one knows about. And they brought in like Doomsday was apparently their ripoff of the Hulk because it was this normal dude that like when he got like stressed out, he would Doomsday out. I'm like, what?
Huh.
That's not the way this works.
Yeah, that's a bit
But for the most part, the series, it was kind of, I didn't actually watch it, but I know about it. Like the first 4 seasons or so were with a younger, like 10 or 12-year-old Clark Kent, like learning, you know, he
was in high school.
Oh, high school. Sorry, my bad. High schooler, Clark Kent, and, you know, he knows he's a Kryptonian, so really learning how to use his, you know, powers and just knowing what's, you know, right and wrong. And then it time jumps for like last 6 seasons or so. There's 10 seasons altogether, and it's him as an adult going through all these trials, and only at the very last 5 minutes of the final episode of the 10
not even 5 minutes, it's like a minute.
Yeah, a minute. The last minute of the 10 season show, he actually dons the red cape and like saves the entire planet, and then it shows him that he is now Superman. So it's really just how Superman became Superman.
My problem with that show, by the way, is that they ruined a lot of characters. Now, beyond the fact that that didn't have Batman or Wonder Woman or any of the Justice League members that should show up in a show about Superman, so they had Darkseid show up, but he's a cloud. Fantastic Four 2 showed us why this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
What is with them in putting clouds as supervillains?
Just get a big fan. Just stick that outside. Like, okay,
doesn't Superman doesn't he have super breath? He can just go.
It's like, well, okay. The real question is, why does a good farm boy decide to become a journalist of all things?
Because, and they address this in Man of Steel, because he decides that if he's going to be a superhero, it has to be in a profession where it's normal to see a journalist at like a dangerous location.
I guess. I mean, maybe when Superman was created, now it's like.
And we're back. Zoom was being really annoying again. Okay, so Mitch, as you were saying,
I was just saying, like, you know, I was making a joke at the expense of journalists. That's all. Not being anywhere there's not a 4-star hotel near within walking distance of. But that's just my opinion. But
back when there were actually journalists,
implying yes, there were journalists back in the old days.
They make a crack about that in a Superman comic I was reading, because like Perry White is accusing Lois Lane of putting too much feeling into her storylines, into her stories for the planet. And then Perry White goes, your job is not to report your opinion. You're just supposed to report the facts. And I'm like, man, modern journalists sure could use this lesson right about now.
And an actual modern comic book writer wrote that. I'm impressed.
Well, it was like years and years and years
Oh,
ago.
never. No wonder.
Before 2016.
No wonder.
But yeah, but in terms of, besides those points I brought up that they made Darkseid a cloud, it was actually a pretty decent show.
Okay.
I'm like, for a CW show, that says a lot. And it was consistently good.
Yeah. I mean, and lasted, I looked it up and people talked about it. It's the longest running comic book TV show ever. 10 seasons.
And then they did season 11 on comic book form, where they did bring in Wonder Woman, which she looked like that. As Diana Prince of the Smallville universe.
Okay.
But I just wish we saw live action. It would be great if when they do the Smallville animated series, they do bring her in, and then it's actually just Gal Gadot doing the voice acting. Multiverse!
That'd be neat. That'd be a nice touch.
That's my only thing. They never really touched on the multiverse in that show, because if there's one comic book house that should have everything they do, at least mentioning the multiverse once, it should be DC. They mention it in the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
I'm like,
Wait.
Go ahead.
Glad you go ahead. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
A second.
Yeah. No, I guess that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like sometimes the multiverse is just really confusing. So sometimes it's better if they avoid doing it as long as possible.
But they're bringing in characters like Darkseid who exist outside the multiverse.
Yeah, I don't. No, I get what Ed's saying though. If you're not used to something, you're not used to it. So like, I'm not against bringing it in. Just do it like not drip feed, but like make it slow enough for people who don't really get it can learn it. You know, like make it not slow enough that it's boring, but slow enough that like I can, if I don't know the characters, I can learn them. You know what I'm saying? Like make Darkseid more than just angry weather. You know, make him like tangible threat that we can then understand that he's not just a bad storm in the Kansas, you know, in the greater Kansas area, a large tornado destroyed a school today. You know, like make him scary and like a threat, and then work the aspects of he's from another place, another universe, other X, Y, and Z, and he can bring that in, not like too slow, but just like enough so that it's not like one episode, bang, he's here. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It really makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, which is why going into bring up Marvel real quick. I know they're doing the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness stuff. They're starting to filter in the multiverse. I think Marvel is gonna do it not so good. Because here's the thing about Marvel compared to DC. I think DC has a more organized multiverse a little bit. Per se, because DC is pretty much like there's only 52 Earths. This is the stuff that's on them. That's it. With Marvel, lad, how many worlds in the Marvel multiverse are there?
Many.
Yeah. And the main one isn't even Earth 0. It's Earth 616.
But
at least 600.
I'll say this though: the MCU is very, very good about having a strict continuity that is all in, for the most part, in one timeline, in one universe, and only just now with Endgame and post-Endgame, we're doing a little bit of time travel, a bit of alternate dimension. But for the past 10 years, they've been really consistent that everything is in one continuity. So even if they're going to do Multiverse of Madness, they may show us events that happen in it, but I don't think we'll ever get a movie that's completely in a separate universe. Like they don't want to confuse people much.
I'm not saying it's going to take place in an alternate universe or anything. I just think that Marvel is going to like overwhelm people because they're already saying, okay, so it's this character showing up, this character showing up, this character showing up, this character showing up, and then they're like, and then they're going to say, oh yeah, there was this big ass world where there's like all these different worlds where everything happened, but they didn't. At least with DC, the only way that they ever mentioned the multiverse is when Steppenwolf actually said just multiverse. He just said that one word or something like that in a sentence. I'm not going to spoil it for Mitch because I know Mitch still hasn't watched the movie.
Sorry. I work. It's my excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Smallville, for better for worse, is a good, because it's long running. It suffers a little bit from like, again, it's better to burn out than fade away. But I think it suffers from the long form CW shows, but it also, by that same token, is one of the best ones they've made. Because I've sat through some of Arrow, I've sat through some of Flash, I've sat through as a sidebar, my father grew up while reading comic books. He loves Swamp Thing. I read a lot of Swamp Thing.
The show is good.
It's not bad, and I've watched parts of it, but I have to like look. You can look at the cover of a Swamp Thing and how detailed, and like as the old sort of, I was like, oh yeah, the artist on that went blind doing the details from that, and I'm like, okay, I understand, Paul. Thank you. You know, I get it, but it's like compare that like level of like depth and detail and like all this rich background of all these characters, especially from like the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a mainline Justice League character. The Arrow too, but I mean like Flash is the Flash. Come on. And this is like you get a CW show. Like I'm not saying the Marvel shows on Netflix are like 100% great. Like Daredevil season 1 was good. But like watch like Iron
Punisher is dope.
Punisher was good. Iron Fist was incredibly disappointing to me after watching like
I liked it, but it wasn't that good. I didn't like their team up show very much.
No, that was no. But again, but you get what I'm saying? Like for these seminal characters, they should get a better TV show than what the CW is giving them. I think is my issue. Smallville is one of the only ones that really kind of like nailed that. Maybe it could have been shorter and even better. I doubt it. That was in an era of TV where you would have long form and it wouldn't have high budget. But nowadays, if they were to do it again, that wasn't animated, like real, like actual person actors, make it shorter, make it high production, almost like make it an HBO show practically, but actually have a good ending.
Yeah, I do know that. I think for Superman and Lois, they gave that show more money.
It's good.
That's why it's basically the only good CW superhero show. But I definitely agree with you that giving the Flash a TV show, like not even a high production quality TV show. Have you seen him run in the really crappy CGI?
Yeah, exactly.
My problem with the CW show is it has to do with their bad guys, because the bad guys is always just an evil version of the other of the good guy, like Reverse Flash, Prometheus, Damien Dark. Well, Deathstroke was the only one that was somewhat original. That's why I love that season 2 of Arrow, I think, is my favorite season of a CW show before Superman and Lois. Legends was kind of good, particularly when they brought in like the air quotes Legion of Doom with the whole Damien Dark, Reverse Flash, and Malcolm Merlin. But besides that, it was like, because what these shows inevitably do, they start off good, and then inevitably they go woke down the line, and then it just goes.
We call it the Legion of Moderately Inconveniencing People.
Yeah, which is why Superman and Lois is great. I just want to see what happens with the subsequent seasons.
Hoping they stay great.
They should stay great, because so far the episodes have been kick-ass.
Okay.
It's the one show since Smallville that actually like respects their characters, as opposed to, and I've talked a lot about this on the show, making Green Arrow basically Batman. The dude is supposed to laugh.
He's that good middle ground between like to borrow from Marvel, like a Spider-Man and Batman, you put them together.
Yes.
But like he's the middle ground in between those 2 points.
Yeah, but in the show they make him straight Batman, and I'm like, what? To the point where
everyman, not a Batman.
To the point where when my exposure to Green Arrow after Arrow was an Injustice, and he's making jokes and everything. I'm like, why are you so funny? You're not supposed to be funny. And then I read the comics and I'm like, what was the CW thinking?
Depends on it was made. If it came out after the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, they were trying to ape that.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
and it's like
surprise me at all.
with the Flash, the bad guy is always inevitably a speedster.
Well, I think it's the lack of creativity from the writers.
Yes, it is. That's very much
And
that.
I think the other half is that it's like the Flash will become eventually. You read Kingdom Come, and he is overpowered by all measurable.
Oh, he's so overpowered.
I'm just gonna warp the fabric of reality as it's like nothing, you know.
Infinite
and it's like,
punch.
I have to stop myself from warping the fabric of reality by just existing, you know. So it's like I understand it's a challenge to deal with a character that eventually will become overpowered, but like this is the time where you have that option of making them not be overpowered because it's like the origin and then the early years. Like of all the times you could make it like where they have to face some real challenges besides like, you know, the opposite of what they are, make the Flash do something he's bad at. Simple. Make a villain or like borrow a villain after there's many that like is just challenging for him instead of just the opposite of him, you know? Just good writing. It's not that hard.
And I love how the challenge is like, okay, so you just have to run faster, Barry. Just run faster. And then the reason why I absolutely have not watched that show ever since season 4 is because they started putting too many characters on Team Flash. It got to a point where felt like I was watching Game of Thrones, except it was not pornography. I was like, what in the name of how many characters do I have to keep track of? And each of them are just Flash clones.
Yeah,
it's true. You know, it's like it's character bloat. Why have a billion characters each tell one thing when you can have like 5 characters actually have characteristics?
And I love how so in the CW at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, they bring in the Justice League, but no Wonder Woman or Batman.
It's all because of complicated TV rights, and DC doesn't. It's just kind of confusing because DC
they're owned by the same company, though.
I know, but they won't allow them to do them on TV because they want to have the Batman, Wonder Woman, you know, Superman. They want them on a movie level budget.
But they have a Superman show.
I know. Now they do. But for the longest time, that's how they operated. Now they're doing the little things a little bit differently. But they always want the big names in movie theaters so no one misses them. And the B tier is on TV shows like Green Arrow, Flash, you know.
Yeah, Lad, you're right.
Flash should not be B tier, by the way. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Barry Allen should not be B tier.
He was B tier.
Well, okay, I get both of where you're coming from. I agree, Lad, you're totally right. It is money-based. Again, anything in Hollywood, it's all about them dollars. All right, 100%. Again, you like look. Who are like the big characters you buy for not big characters, but like who to the normie? When you go to a comic book store, who do you recognize? Superman, Batman. Who do you recognize after that? Maybe Wonder Woman. You know, Green Lantern. Flash. Everybody like, oh, Flash is cool. Like I like Flash. He's great in Justice League. That's like my first exposure to the characters.
And the
Justice
show.
League, yeah.
The show was a good introduction for people to know who's Barry Allen.
Exactly, but like that's the problem is that like it's great for them to introduce him, but the TV shows in general are always going to suffer from that. You know, again, if you're not in the movies, you're in the TV show, and because the TV shows are in CW, they're never going to give them enough funding, so you don't want to give your characters to CW to make a show about that are as important, that deserve the full funding unless that series is going to get funding. That's why now that you have a Superman Lois show, they have more funding because it's an important character that gets more money. You know,
and people actually watch it. Batwoman, I'm looking at you.
Right. I think that's part of the reason why, like Smallville, you know, it was the origin story, but they never went past. They showed Superman, you know, and they didn't have Batman and Wonder Woman because those are, you know, A tier characters.
You give them their own show and you do a crossover episode, yeah.
And you know,
that should be the yearly crossover where all the Justice League member shows come together. And then it's like, oh, wait, let's form a team.
Lad, you and Jared are both onto something. Here's what you do. You have an Origins TV show of like Wonder Woman, Batman. You have the Smallville or the Lois and Superman. And then you do, again, Jared, as you're saying, a crossover episode. You do one. But this time it's not
Ooh.
intentional. It's coincidental. They're all fighting a big enemy, or that's all related to them. You know, Lex Luthor is doing something in Gotham that affects the Amazons. And the first time they all meet, it's coincidental, or they don't really hang out too much, but it's enough to like get people like excited. Like, yeah, okay. Like we're fighting together, but everyone's wearing a really like crap costume, so nobody knows who anyone is, and it's kind of like we're working together because it's coincidence.
It's a disguise, yeah.
Yeah. Next season, you do another one, and it's a little bit more like, hey, I remember you from last time, or are you and you build up to like, oh, you're that person from last time, and you click, and they realize, hey, this is another superhero like me. Third season, you do it, they're like, hey, maybe we should be friends. And again, as long as the series goes on, you can build up to that. And then by the end of it, after like 3, 4, 5 season like crossovers, you're like, hey, why don't we work together? And then you merge all of them because you don't want your series to get old and tired. You merge it into a new series and you make it an ensemble cast. And there you go. You have your Justice League TV show. Bam,
Or,
Hollywood, hire me.
What they could do is establish a new TV show continuity, but just have the 3 shows for right now be Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And then they have a crossover where where they're made aware of each other's existence, and then occasionally they'll cameo in the other episodes, kind of like how the Flash and Arrow did it. Then the next crossover is like every crossover they add members of the league, and then once they have pretty much the lineup, they go, okay, so let's just make this a formal thing. We team up enough.
Yeah,
okay.
And
then they go Justice League live action TV show, which would be so cool if they did it with the Justice League Unlimited cartoon music.
That would be cool. That'd be lovely. That'd be a fantastic homage to like the fans. That'd be great. I'd love that.
Please do that. That was my one complaint about. Actually, I'm not going to say that because it's again a spoiler. But I'm like, no. But yeah, I feel like they could easily, and the people would watch it. Here's the problem: when they don't do shows like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, but they do like the air quotes next best thing, like Batwoman and Supergirl. They think people are just going to see Bat and watch it. No, Batwoman and Supergirl are like maybe C-level characters.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit on the C level. And I love how apparently in the news in Batwoman, they kind of brought in Bruce Wayne, but it turned out not being Bruce Wayne. So I'm like, of course it did. Of course it did. Of course they did that. That's what they're going to do. The only like big thing that the CW did is bring in Ezra Miller in Crisis on Infinite Earths. That shows up and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Batman Beyond live action.
Oh yes, I would so definitely watch that.
And you do, but again, CW, so you have a really strict budget. You do low again because Batman Beyond is like Cyberpunk, right? And Cyberpunk's still pretty cool and kind of in the cultural zeitgeist, even though Cyberpunk's not the game was it what it is. You do like a low tech main character guy. I forget the guy's name. Forgive me, I'm having a brain fart. But you go.
Terry.
Terry. Okay, so Terry he's a kid still, but he's like moonlighting as like, we're gonna change it a little bit because it's CW. We have to make him interesting and we have to sell it. What is he?
We have to make sure teenagers will watch it.
He's like a vigilante detective.
Okay.
He's not even like a police officer because you can't do that on CW now. You have
oh yeah.
You have him being like, he's like neighborhood like enforcer guy, not for a gang, but he just keeps the peace in his neighborhood. And then somebody gets hurt by like a Batman villain, and he gets pulled in, and he's trying to like stop a gang from moving in, or he's trying to stop like some bigger force, and he bites off more than he can chew, and that's how you introduce him to like Bruce Wayne, who's the old Batman, who like
it's fine.
Yeah, the oldest Batman is like, all right, take here. Now I'm not giving this to you, but you see them interact like occasionally. And then at the end of the season, you can be like, okay, try this on. He has to like beat up this minor like to Batman, it's a minor villain, but Batman's so old, he's getting like geriatric. He can't face him. The new kid gets the new Batman suit, beats up the villain, who's really just like a C-list jobber villain. But because to like a normal average Joe, this is not like a jobber. The guy could break you in half because you're just a normal dude, not like a superhero. You get the Batman suit. He gets the new thing, some of the powers, or not powers, some of the abilities that the suit gives him, plus his own little take on it. He beats up the Jobber. End of season 1. You know, like that would be like such a great, like you do only do like 2 seasons of it. You wouldn't need
Okay.
6 seasons of Batman Beyond.
I had an idea for a Wonder Woman show that I think would do really well as a CW show, where so when the show picks up, the Justice League exists. In other words, it's not necessarily an origin story. What it is that so an important part of Wonder Woman's like world are the Greek gods, right?
Yeah.
And the Greek gods are vain as hell. Now, my thing is, what if so the Justice League, would you say in DC the Justice League are worshipped like gods to a degree?
Yeah, again, they don't touch on it, but I can absolutely say that happened without them even realizing it.
Side note, that's why I like DC more, because I'm really into that myth area, and I think DC's closer to that. But what if the gods became jealous of the Justice League and all the adoration that they used to have in ancient Greece? So they go to war with the League, and like they win the war and take over, and then they like put like they scatter the League members. Like Superman is put in Hades / Tartarus because there's no sunlight there.
Okay.
And then it's like Wonder Woman is like chained up in Olympus, but she escapes and she has to reassemble the League.
I am all for that, actually.
I know, because what that is, and the reason why it works at CW is because it's rebelling against one's family. I know it's that type of drama they like, because apparently in the CW everyone has the same drama over and over and over. It's like the Flash. The Flash is like, I won't keep secrets anymore, and then the next episode, I can't tell anyone about this. Like, what? You just had this lesson, bro.
Yeah.
All right, Lad, you're being kind of quiet. You have anything?
No, I'm just kind of trying to keep up with everyone else. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if a Justice League, they did some sort of TV show where they had the Justice League, it would have to be a small roster. It would need to be.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about JLU length.
I think we have 4 people maximum. Like you have the Trinity and maybe one other person. I don't think they would ever go beyond something that much for the TV show scale.
I was thinking at least JL seasons 1 and 2 length in terms of roster length.
Maybe.
Because I understand what you're saying on a TV show. You don't want too many characters because it's hard to develop each one of those characters.
Right.
What they could do is make it a Justice League show, and it's about like, and no matter how many members it has, but the first like couple of episodes, depending on how many members there are, basically, let's say there's 5 members, the Trinity, Flash, and let's say Green Lantern, and then each of those episodes is their like origin, and they're like building towards this event. Like they're like, hey, like Hal Jordan is told by the Guardians on Earth, like this being known as Darkseid is invading. We need you to go to this location and stop him. And then each of the League received that same message at the end of their episode, telling them to go to this location. So it's basically the League members' origin, and then they're going there. And then episode 5 or like 6 is them meeting and fighting, and then the League is formed.
That could work. What if they took the approach of Netflix Marvel characters, where they have like they just do, because it's a high budget show and these are important characters, so they don't want to just have the villain of the day like Flash and CW shows have. They just did like a 1 season, 8 episodes, or like 6, like how Marvel does it now, right? 6 episodes or 8 episodes with just
Around
one woman show, a Batman show, a Superman show. You know, you have the other couple characters. They all just have a 1 season show that the plot is resolved in 1 season. Maybe leave it open in case you want to do a 2nd season if it's popular, and then you do a crossover season with all of them together. I feel like that'd
be great.
That like most likely way we would have something like that. They wouldn't do like a long show for each of the characters because it would be low budget like the Flash Arrow.
Yeah, they do like a long show, it gets too convoluted. I was thinking for the Batman show, they could do it. So you know how like in all those shows there was like this one threat that was like sort of working behind the scenes, like manipulating villains into doing certain things. In Batman's, I could see it being the League of Shadows, and then Ra's al Ghul is like the last fight at the last episode.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
It's like eventually Talia comes to him and goes, "My father is kind of angry at you or pissed," and then she just leaves Damian with him. Like, oh, by the way, here.
Yeah.
And then Damian takes one look at Batman and goes, "Not impressed."
Not impressed.
Disappointed.
What do you think, Mitch?
I think it's good. I think we're some of the few people that are going to talk about the honesty of the fact that it's a CW show, so it's going to have a limited budget, and the realism that brings to something like that. You know, the less expensive CG you have to buy, the better, because that jacks up the price something crazy. So yeah. Again, keeping the real madness and for either like one episode at the end, but not keeping it, or not even the end. Second to last episode. Subvert our expectations a little bit. Let's not do the Marvel thing. We'll have the final battle the second to last episode. We'll do the last episode as like a closure episode. All right. We'll mix things up. But I agree. Yeah, it can't be too quick because people will be like, "Wow, it's all my favorite characters," and then they won't care. You know, you gotta play the game. You gotta get people interested. You gotta give them the taste. The first one is free. The second one's they gotta pay for.
Yeah. And I definitely think what they could definitely do is it seem like to do it like, oh, they're doing a villain of the week, but each of those villains are teed up by the main threat.
That works.
Now you think it's going the Flash way, but actually it's going more of like, say, the Falcon Winter Soldier or WandaVision like route.
I've got a plan to pick the CW. We're gonna have the like a Wonder Woman TV show, and it's gonna be like we want to have like a lot of episodes, but we want to have low budget. So the premise of the storyline is the series starts off and she gets hit by a cosmic ray that removes all of her powers, so that she has to operate completely as there's no explosions. There's no superpower. She's just completely just.
They did that in the comics, though. They took away her powers in the comics.
Great. We'll use the comic. We'll just use that.
There you go.
We'll fire our writing staff. We'll fire the writing staff. Just
no
ape
CGI.
The comic completely.
And no CGI. And we'll do that with Flash also. The next season of Flash, no powers whatsoever. We'll save the budget money. Kind of cool. And yeah, we'll just, you know, and
I do think
Batman ends up in a wheelchair and he can't fight.
So it's Kingdom Come, kind of. It's Kingdom Come Batman.
I'll do you one better. Young Batman has a group of previously super-powered heroes who are now not powered. So he has to train them how to defend themselves without powers. Like
the Depowered League.
Well, yeah, I'm like, because the Flash is in like either mid-fight, like stopping a mugger, and he loses his powers. So the mugger beats him to an inch of his life. This big guy pounds him into the floor because he has no powers, and he realizes, like, wait a second, I actually don't know how to fight or defend myself, like without actual training. I've just been relying on my speed, or Wonder Woman, just any of these heroes who have not actually trained themselves and learned and earned the physicality that like Batman has, who is someone who has like worked out for a change. Flash, have you ever picked up a dumbbell before? Like you play it like that, and you could make it campy. You could do like a training montage. You can do the music. You can do the whole 9 yards. Not an explosion in sight. You save the budget, lad. You are on to gold there. That's
actually not a bad idea.
I'm gonna mind that.
I think if you're gonna do a low budget show, it has to be a street level character. You can't really, because let me put it this way, with Arrow, to a certain degree, they get away with a lot. Because and the only time the show ever looks crappy is when the Flash shows up, ironically. Or when someone god level shows up, I'm like, okay. Or it's like when he's fighting the Anti-Monitor and it's like, let's just stare at each other.
Glare
I'm
angrily.
like, what? Come on, man. And I'm like, I think they wasted, by the way, Kingdom Come Superman and Batman. I wanted more of that. And the fact that it's Kevin Conroy.
This Kingdom Come's just that good too.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta find a way to decrease that budget as low as possible. You know?
$1.
I
And the
think-
costumes are just like they used to go to Party City.
Oh
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You could even do a whole joke about that. Or like, where did you guys get your costumes? Like a Halloween Express, an out of season Halloween store? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Oh, I got it. It's like a show like Kick-Ass where there are a bunch of comic book fans that are trying to be the Justice League, but they just go to like Party City and just get like loose string tied costumes.
oh,
that's
do you know,
great.
Jared? You hit the perfect thing. They did that for one of the video games, and they do it for one of the board games for the DC guys. You got a gang of people pretending to be their heroes and being vigilantes. What do?
Oh yeah.
You have that as your plot starter, and then they get a couple of new members. Who are the new members? The depowered actual heroes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So then you have the interaction of these people who don't realize that they're actually with their heroes who are just depowered. So it's like, and the heroes have to like come to grips with the effect that they have on society and inspiring people, and like that whole aspect to it, while also like having no powers and learning to be a normal person from them at the same time. You know,
That works actually. It would particularly work for characters like Superman and Wonder Woman, who have always liked to a certain degree defined themselves as being godlike beings.
Yeah, so like Clark Kent has to learn to defend himself as Clark Kent.
Yeah,
You know?
that's why whenever I hear someone ask who would win a fight, Iron Man or Batman? Well, Batman, because if you get Tony Stark out of the suit, I'm sure he can't fight that well.
He doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't know how to like throw hands outside of his suit.
Yeah, I know. So it'd be like all Batman has to do really is use an EMP batarang and just go to town. That's
Is
it.
he get him out of the suit, beat him to a bloody pulp.
Look what happened in Civil War. He did that. Captain America did that.
Yep. Honestly, an EMP would pretty much take out most of the villain heroes in the MCU because they all use
Yeah, I know.
tech
So much tech.
like literally Magneto or a EMP, whichever one you want to use would defeat everyone.
Credit
Can
to
you
the X-Men
imagine?
3 movie, the soldiers when they fought Magneto used plastic guns. That was actually a plot point. So credit for
That's
them.
Can you imagine if like somehow they do a Marvel DC crossover and Batman goes to the MCU and sees everyone as threats? So Magneto tells them, "Hey, help me out here." So then they both just go on a rampage. Batman in his EMP suit that just perpetually deploys an EMP. Like the Winter Soldier can't use his arm. Falcon can't fly. Iron Man can't do anything because he's dead, but that's besides the point.
Oh.
The Guardians of the
man.
Galaxy are coming in.
The spoilers.
Low blow.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are flying in. Their ship gets EMP'd and then it crashes in a fire explosion.
Oh no.
Except for Drax because he was standing perfectly still and is invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so good. And then Old Man Ghost Rider shows up and just creaks his way into battle.
I have osteoporosis.
I have
Oh,
I have inflammatory rheumatism.
Oh. I like that. That's good. That's good.
All right. So some good ideas. CW, hire us. We can make your shows good. Just give us a show. Just give us a universe. We have a multiverse, and we will do this. We have no shortage of ideas.
Low budget as possible. I bet you'll love us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Just have them all in street clothes, like in Smallville.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's it. There you go.
I hear a pair of denim jeans aren't that expensive. There we go. But eat your
Just
heart out, CW. Will
jeans.
save you your money.
Jeans, a Superman shirt, and then some cape from Amazon. That's it.
I think you
love
mean
it.
like
And
a
Wonder
bed
Woman?
sheet.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman, all she wears is togas pretty much when she's on Themyscira. She just wrap a comforter around her.
Yes, I love it.
And then Batman, all he does is he wears a t-shirt that says, "I am Batman."
Like a Target t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts with a T.
Yeah. How may I help you? My name is Batman. Welcome to Gotham City.
Exactly.
We can even
And
get
just a
the
domino mask. Just a domino
Sponsorship.
mask.
Target sponsorship
No,
in the TV show.
Flash.
There we go.
Flash has those branded suits like in the Silver Surfer, where Johnny Storm has like the NASCAR.
I'll
patch
do you
on
one
his
better.
suit.
He's Pepsi, man.
Yeah.
And Green Lantern is a dude dressed for St. Patrick's Day.
It's like, you guys have no idea how much money I'm making off of this sponsorship. You've no idea.
Yeah, it turns out the Flash is the one that's bankrolling the Justice
Exactly.
League.
Where did you get all this money? I tell you, Pepsi's benevolent God.
Batman is investing in AMC stock and it still hasn't panned out.
Batman just trades stock on the side. That's how he makes his money. That's how he's a rich. I trade crypto on the side. Don't worry about it. Like, stops mid-fight, trade stock. Back to
Yes.
That'd be so good. All right. This should be our next episode, coming up with low budget Justice League.
That'd be so much fun.
That would be Earth LB, Earth low budget. Everything is like the houses are made of cardboard. Like everything is low budget.
Hey, they did it in Blazing Saddles. You know, they're in the set. They look over, the whole set like falls in on them. Huh? You know, you play it for laughs. Just go for it.
Yeah, it'd be a comedy. There's even a laugh track in it.
There you go. Like, where's
Oh,
the laugh
Cyborg is just a dude wearing tinfoil.
Yeah, absolutely just tinfoil.
Tinfoil and maybe like football pads.
Yeah, and we have no script, like literally no script. It's unscripted. Maybe go based off a comic, like reading off of it, but we don't do double takes. You know, it's just
they have the
one
comic
take
in their hand when they're performing it too. They look down at the comic, look up. What?
And the Joker is just a party clown that Batman beats to a pulp.
He just beats constantly, follows him around Hong Kong.
Red Hood is just a dude with a red baseball cap.
Yes.
Green Arrow is just a dude that like has a foam finger that's green and he's always pointing forward.
Now, a dude is a Nerf arrow. Come on, you gotta
yes,
give him the Nerf bow. The Nerf bow.
What would Black Canary do?
Should have a canary in a cage.
She has a mega horn.
Oh, like a bullhorn, yeah.
She has a bullhorn. That's it. That would be so good. Lex Luthor is like let me see. What would Lex
He's
Luthor
upper
do?
middle class and has a house.
Yeah, he has a house.
Behold my pool.
Yeah. I'm smarter than everyone. Clark Kent runs an online blog where he writes love poems to Wonder Woman.
Save it.
No. Wonder Woman
episode.
is a Batman groupie, and Batman's like, go, stay away from me.
I am uncomfortable.
Kind of like in Justice League, except he's more like, no, get away. Get away.
Bat smoke disappears.
Bat smoke. And it's just like, it's like airsoft smoke.
Oh yeah, totally. Like you can see him run.
Red Hood has 2 really cheap plastic BB guns.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then Red Hood's like, and the Batman's like, Jason, I've told you, we don't use guns, even if they're plastic BBs. My parents were killed in a BB gun accident.
Man.
All right.
You'll
Anyway.
shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah, that'll definitely be our next episode with Mitch. That'll be so good. All right, guys. Always a pleasure having you on. My thanks for being so gracious with our debate by crowning me the winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Least we can do.
Once again, CW, pay me. Pay us. We'll be your new writing team. All right, everyone. Mitch, always a pleasure. Lad, always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Stay heroic. Bye-bye.